What's up? What's up? Real MVPs, Ricky Widmer here, and welcome in. We've made it. I am joined, as I always have for these, with my beautiful co-host, a partner in crime that I could not do without during these Stanley Cup playoffs. JD, how we doing?
Doing great, dude.
A little bit of a different setup here, as many people will first notice. There's a lot more light. Especially behind you. With me, I've got so my window is to this side. I've got blinds and I've got that stuff. I don't know if you do this, but I point the blinds up so that light comes in, it gets pointed at the ceiling rather than down at the floor.
That's actually smart, but my blinds are pretty shit.
Oh no, you're not using. I can tell you're using 0 blinds right now. That is just pure whiteness over your right shoulder.
I think this is the first recording we've done that's not
in the daytime.
At nighttime. Yeah.
Usually we're recording at the dead of night, early morning, but the moon's out. So we're recording this actually. I wasn't going to do this. First off, I'll just say, if you want to support the channel, welcome to MVP. We're previewing the Stanley Cup Finals. We've been doing the playoffs the whole time. If you want to support us, check our Patreon link down below or become a member of the channel. And also, if you're not in the MVP Discord, join the greatest community in all the internet, the MVP Discord link down below. JD, but I didn't know if I was going to do this or not, but I guess I will for full transparency. We are recording this on Saturday, the 27th. This is one where we're preemptively recording this, mainly because JD has stuff to do this weekend. We don't know if the Knights are going to win Game 5. We don't know if there's going to be a Game 6, a Game 7. People might even, JD, there's a chance nobody sees this video.
Yeah.
It's small, but there's a chance no one sees this video. But I just wanted to let you guys know. Well, like I said, I was him-hawing about it, but I guess I decided this is prior to Game 5, so we will see what happens with the Golden Knights and the Stars. But for this video, JD, we're living in a fantasy world. We're living in the future. I did it. I almost said Carolina Panthers. The Florida Panthers, they did the impossible. Well, impossible meaning they swept the Hurricanes. Before we even get into a matchup, can we just talk about that for a second? This team, I don't think anyone, nobody saw them beating the Bruins. Then the second round, people were, I think, more hating the Leafs than rooting for the Panthers. But nobody saw them sweeping the Hurricanes. And even
if you saw you thought the Panthers would beat the Leafs, I doubt anybody had Panthers in 5.
Yeah. What did we have? Where's my...
I had Leafs 7, and I want to say you had...
Yeah, we both had Leafs in 7. Yeah. I let your love of the Leafs cloud my judgment there.
Hey, I let hope cloud my judgment. I should have freaking went right... we beat the... All right, new team. The curse is gone.
You got a little bit of hope.
Yeah, and then nope, dashed away in an instant.
Yeah. And then the Golden Knights, well, as we're recording this, they're in the finals. If you're seeing this, they get through the Stars, whether it's 5, whether it's 6, don't know as recording this, but they almost swept. And JD, I was telling Dave and Soapy that we almost had the biggest, probably one of the biggest firsts that we could have had in sports, where there was a potential. The Western teams got it done. It's the Eastern Conference teams that didn't. But there was a chance for a while in the NBA and hockey. All 4 conference final series were going to be sweeps at one point.
Yeah, my Celtics said, no, that ain't happening.
And well, that's the other coincidence is both teams that are trailing in the actually no. Florida's not in the West. They're in the East. It was the East and a West that got it done. Both of the teams remaining that are fighting elimination in hockey and basketball both have green as their colors, with the Stars and the Celtics. I look for weird coincidences like this that mean literally nothing when it comes to playing. But JD, we're talking Golden Knights, we're talking Panthers. This is the Stanley Cup Finals. If you guys are seeing this video, JD, I'm just going to ask you plain and simple. You get to the Stanley Cup Finals. You want to keep what you've been doing true, but there is also a little nugget of like, hey, just go out there and play. It's the Stanley Cup Finals. Leave it all out there on the line. What are you thinking coming into this matchup? Golden Knights, Panthers, Cup Finals.
Now, I think the Golden Knights will be the Panthers' toughest task to this point because, like I've been kind of mentioning, I specifically talked about it the last series against Carolina for the Panthers, but the Bruins, Leafs, and Hurricanes all play a similar style of hockey, like having the puck, and the Panthers thrive off that because they capitalize on your mistakes and they want to force you to make mistakes. With the Golden Knights, they play a similar style to Florida, where they're just gonna forecheck, they're gonna make you make mistakes, and that's how they're gonna win games. So I don't know what it's gonna look like seeing how the Panthers will react to finally playing a team that that is different than the others.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm not sure it's that big of a deal, but it's gonna be a tight. I think it's gonna be a tight series. Honestly, like I think this might be one of the better Stanley Cup Finals we've had since 2019 with the Blues and the Bruins.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'll be completely honest. I don't know which way I want to look for this one because the Golden Knights, I said it to you going into the Western Conference Finals, is you were talking about Ottinger and you were talking about the Stars and the goaltending and the offense for the Golden Knights isn't going to keep up. And except for maybe like game 4, where I'll be completely honest, JD, game 4, when that thing was going to overtime, I was picking up my phone going, hey, what's the odds on Golden Knights to win this? Let's see. Oh, I like those odds. I thought that the game was over because going so far in this postseason until game 4 happened, the Golden Knights perfect in overtime. The Stars can't win in overtime. I thought it was over, and I thought that I agreed with like many of the guys on the ESPN intermission report of, hey, expect this to maybe end very quickly, or they were saying hopefully quickly with the Golden Knights because they usually end overtimes quicker than, let's say, the Panthers who play 4 overtimes. But like, I look at this and I go, this is legit a series where it's going to be, first off, a team on the West that they're kind of getting back to the Cup. Last time they didn't win it, 2018. They have a shorter time being in their Cup drought. Offensively, they have been a very great team. They've gotten past good teams in the Stars and the Oilers, teams that many thought, hey, they're going to lose to those teams for sure. But then you got the Panthers, who haven't been to the Cup since 96. And JD, the thing that I think with this team, and I don't want to take it away from X's and O's and like give the Panthers credit for what they've done, but it's hard to think like, oh, I'm going to overlook this team because the Panthers have truly been the team of destiny in these playoffs.
yeah, and something else with the Golden Knights that
Mm-hmm.
I was wrong about was when we did our last video, I said I don't trust Aiden Hill. I don't trust him to continue playing the way he has.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy, I don't know, like he's pulling a rabbit out of his hat, and he had a great series, a
Mm-hmm.
lot better than I expect. And if he can keep that up, I think we're in for a tight series. Because Bobrovsky has been unreal for the Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
I think if the Panthers end up winning the Cup, it'll
He's
be
the
a tough.
Conn Smythe.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough choice between him and Kachuk
Mm-hmm.
because Kachuk's been getting all the big goals for
Yeah.
Florida, but Bobrovsky, he's been like the best playoffs arguably since Quick in 2014.
Mm-hmm.
So it's tough, but I honestly I don't know. Like with the Panthers, it's tough because now that they're like we've been saying throughout this journey of the playoffs, how are they going to react being in the finals? Because before they didn't expect to win. They're just like they're playing with house money. Like,
Mhm.
oh, cool, we beat the Bruins. How crazy is that?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go beat the Leafs. Oh, we beat the Leafs. Oh, how crazy is that? Oh, we're in
Mhm.
the Eastern Conference Finals. Let's just sweep the Hurricanes. And then now they're like, oh my God, we're in the Stanley Cup Finals now.
Yeah.
So
I
I don't think I kind of agree with what you said. I don't want to throw X's and O's out the window,
mhm.
but it's two teams who want to finally, well, for the Panthers, like you said, they haven't been to a cup final since '96.
Mhm.
So it's two teams that want to get that monkey off their back. And even though the Golden Knights haven't been in the league for a super long time, again, they've had deep playoff runs and they're yet to win that cup. So I think they're even more determined to finally break through and get that cup under their belt.
No, I gotta look, JD. Ooh. The last time the Panthers were in the cup was 96. Do you remember? Now, yet again, before your time, I was 6. Right before your time? I'm forgetting when you were
Yeah,
born.
yeah. Or 90.
Um, I was 6 years old, not watching hockey at that point. Take a guess at they played the Avalanche. Take a
Yeah.
guess at how many games that series went. They lost in how many games? Would you say?
Well, think they lost in 5, 4.
I got
Okay, yeah. Because
swept.
I remember obviously wasn't alive, but I
Yeah.
knew that Avalanche team was really, really good.
So game 1 was a 3-1 loss, then an 8-1 loss, then a 3-2 loss, and then the clinching game was a 1-0 victory for the Avalanche in triple overtime.
Yeah.
Like they fought to the bitter end with a 3 overtime game and 4, but like the reason I looked this up was I wanted to see if the Panthers won in 96 because these are teams that yes, difference in the amount of years it's been since they've been to a cup, but for both of these teams it will be since their last appearance, it will be their first cup. Like well, for Golden Knights it is their first cup because
Yeah.
new
Yeah.
team made the finals, didn't win the finals. For the Panthers, I'm pretty sure that's not the case. I would have to double check on that because I'm not a super
What do you mean?
history buff with the NHL teams.
I want to say they came in the league in '95, made it 96.
93.
Okay, 3.
Yeah, they have 0 cups. So
Yeah,
it would be their first cup for either of these
yeah,
teams, which
yeah.
is like that's a thing too that should we talk about of like usually we put so much attention and so much onus on original 6 old hockey teams like the Leafs and the Bruins and the Blackhawks and the Red Wings when they were in the playoffs. They're not anymore because Detroit sucks. But sorry, like even though I'm not a ride or die Blackhawk fan anymore, being in Chicago, you can't take the city out of the kid. You can't take
It,
that Chicago hatred for
it's okay.
Detroit.
I don't
Bad
like
boys
Detroit.
didn't like them. Didn't like the Red Wings with the Blackhawks, even though the Blackhawks sucked when I was a kid. But basically, the point I was making is we talk about the great history and like these old teams in hockey, but yet now it's 2 teams who don't have a Stanley Cup. Both of these teams, it'll be their first cup, and a team in the Golden Knights who have only been around since 2018.
2017.
Well, wasn't it 27, 20?
Yeah,
Didn't they
yeah,
make the league their first year
yeah,
or
yeah. They
make the
made
cup their first
yeah,
year?
yeah, yeah,
So 17, 18, we're both right.
yeah. Yeah, no, like I actually like that because I know specifically in Canada, there's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of talk about how this is bad for the league, like having all these like I guess you could say like Southwest or South
Mm-hmm.
teams, and
You're just upset that the Americans are taking your
yeah,
sport.
well, I think that's how a lot of Canadians feel. But
Yeah.
for me, I'm actually happy because, like, again,
Mm-hmm.
hockey, besides the guy who runs the league, Gary Bettman,
Yeah.
the game hasn't like the game needs to be bigger in the States
Mm-hmm.
because that's where the money is, that's where the marketing is, and by having like Florida, who finally has packed their own barn,
Mm-hmm.
which hasn't happened. and then having Dallas, like who Dallas has been good the last 5 years,
Mm-hmm.
and so they're showing out. That's where you want to grow the game, is in these southern markets, because hockey's pretty much non-existent there to
Yeah.
most people. Like my girlfriend's family, who doesn't know really anything about hockey. They just know I'm a Leafs fan, but they're like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, that sport's cool or whatever. They don't know anything. You want to get the game into these people's eyes and show them how great of a sport it is. The league itself sucks. The NHL is a horrible league. I'll die on that hill. But
You love watching it, but horrible league.
yeah, but like,
I would say
but
you like hockey more than basketball, don't you?
uh, I like
Like
playing.
if you had to pick rest of your life, I get to watch the NHL or the NBA, which you choosing. You can
That's
only
actually
watch one. Football's out the question because I know football would win.
Yeah.
Because football would win with me too.
Yeah. It's tough, man. I think I lean hockey just because I hate the NBA regular season. I
Mm-hmm.
think it's horrible. But I mean, so I probably would lean hockey, but I want the game to be good, but unfortunately, you
Mm-hmm.
know, it's gonna be tough, which is why it needs to succeed in it's been succeeding in Las Vegas.
Yeah,
It's been
dude,
getting better in Texas.
I'll tell you, one, got a little personal experience with this because girlfriend is a Vegas native, lived in Vegas for many years. Obviously she's a Golden Knights fan. But number two, like actually being, because I got to go to a Vegas Golden Knights game, dude, they call it the Fortress. That thing is packed for these games.
I want to go to a game in Vegas so badly. Like, just the atmosphere looks unreal. I might be going to Vegas in November, so I'm going to be trying to go to one. But even so, like, kind of, I know we're getting a little off topic, but like, here's the thing. Going back to like, I know we're not really talking about the Stars, but this is why I wanted another hockey team in Texas, because a couple years ago, just before COVID, me and my girlfriend, we went to a,
because they're the only ones, right? Dallas is
What do
the
you-
only one.
yeah. So we went to a Texas Stars game, which is, the AHL affiliate to the Dallas Stars.
Mhm.
And I wasn't expecting anything. Like, because I've been to AHL games. I love the AHL.
Yeah.
And I've been to, so when I went to the game, I wasn't expecting anything. Me and my girlfriend go to this game, packed house. And I'm like, oh, wow, okay, cool. It wasn't really on a weekend either. I think it was it was a Friday night. So we go, and these people are so into the game. Like, they know what's going on. They understand the game, like at least the people around me and stuff. And I was shocked because I didn't think it'd be like that. But people in Texas, like it's a niche sport, but the people that love hockey, which is why I think there should be another team in either Houston or Austin.
Well,
But
I did look it up. Houston's interested in a team. The NHL is not interested in putting a team in Houston right now.
yeah. But yeah, so going back to the original point, like I think this is great. I think having a Florida and matchup will be great for the league. Hopefully a bunch of new fans will be there, and I don't think anyone complains when two teams haven't won a championship yet, and one of them at least gets their first. So I have no complaints with that. I just think that both teams, it's going to be a real interesting matchup. I don't see any team getting blown out.
Yeah.
So
I will say this on the question I asked you, I would choose the NHL. Like if you said gun to your head, got to pick one. It's the only season you could watch and like that's the only sports season you can watch, and we're taking football out of the question. Hockey would beat basketball because to me, I'm thinking, and the playoff, these Stanley Cup playoffs are different. Like the Stanley Cup playoffs are different than any other playoffs in all of sports. Like there's something about the Stanley Cup playoffs that like I will gravitate to it over basketball if I had to choose. But I would choose hockey regular season because I remember JD this season, I could put on a game and let's say it's even like Canadians Red Wings. Oh, I hated the Red Wings this year, JD, because I lost so much money from them. And when I say lost so much money, just those were the bets that were failing. Anytime I bet against the Red Wings, it seems like the Red Wings would all get a notification on their phone and be like, oh, Ricky bet on us. Hey, guys, time to play up tonight. And then they would play up and win. Like, every time I was like, ooh, this is a good spot. I'm going to pick against the Red Wings. They just seemed to turn it on that game. But the point being, I could watch a game like Canadians Red Wings, who they were bottom of the standings for their division, and it would be such an entertaining game where for basketball, I can't say that. You could get the Bulls and the Hornets, a bad example. Bulls don't like to play blowouts, but like you get what I'm saying. Like you could pick, let's say Rockets Spurs or something like that, and it could be like, well, that was a 20-point blowout. Like it's to me more entertaining. Like you have a better chance of those lower end games in the NHL being more entertaining.
And it's because with basketball, again, this is a side topic again. I love basketball.
People sit and stuff like that.
Yeah, people sit and like you have just such a talent disparity between because between, let's just say it's the first place team in the division against the last place team. Well, unless that first place team's sitting their whole starting five, you're looking at like you already know the outcome of the game unless something crazy happens. And hockey, yes, the better team wins, but it's just such a weird sport to where it's less likely that better team, or sorry, that worst team loses.
So. Yeah. I mean, I'll be completely honest. I'm pumped for these Stanley Cup finals. I cannot wait to see who wins. Like, I'll be honest, there's a side that I'm pulling to because yet again, and we'll get into it in a couple minutes because we're going to talk about predictions here to end. But I will say I do have a little bias because I am dating someone who's a fan of the Golden Knights. So obviously I want her to be happy. So I cheer for them. JD, I'll ask you though. It's time. Who you got? How many games? How's this series playing out in your mind?
So I'm going to go Panthers in 7. So yeah, I'm going to go Panthers in 7 because, you've been saying it. They're the team of destiny. Now, I just think that they're just playing perfect hockey right now. They haven't really cleaned up their penalty issue, which could hurt them in this series. But Bobrovsky's playing otherworldly right now. Like Kachuk's been unreal. There guys like Gudis has stepped up on the back end. They're getting help from everybody. Nick Cousins has been, he's been good in like just every part of their lineup has been good. Now, with the Golden Knights again, they're a similar story. Aiden Hill has stepped up and been really good for them since taking the net over. Jack Eichel has been amazing these playoffs. Marchessault has been also amazing. They're just getting help from everywhere. So that's why I have this series going 7. Like I could see either team winning.
Yeah.
But Bobrovsky I think Bobrovsky's going to be the difference maker, and I'm hoping I'm not jinxing anything because I said Ottinger would be the difference maker, and clearly.
Well, you're making me feel really good, JD. I'm gonna let you know you're making me feel really good because I didn't say this before I asked you, but I'll say it now. Our records heading into the Stanley Cup Finals we're 10-16 apiece. I was able to. We both had Florida in 7. We both picked up only 1 point there. With Vegas winning, I was able to pick up a point on you because I had Vegas in 7. You had Dallas in 7. So after my horrid second round, we're back tied 10-16 apiece. I'll be completely honest. I would love to see both of these teams win, but I have to back the Golden Knights. And the reason being, I know what I said 2 seconds ago. Girlfriend's a Vegas fan. I got that little biasy. And some of you might say, well, Ricky, that's where this pick comes from. But the real reason why I'm picking the Golden Knights in 6 is this team, the one series that I doubted them, they proved me wrong. I remember, JD, going into the second round, I said Oilers are going to win. I thought that I had this matchup in the second round, had the Oilers winning that series. I'm going to be right. And yeah, I know there's a Draisaitl injury. Stuff like that happens. Like, you're going to get injuries. But, like, they proved me wrong with the Oilers to where last series I was like, I even told you, I'm like, I can't bet against this team. I can't go against them after going against them in the second round. I'm just going to continue to ride them, JD. Like, this is a team, when I have doubted them, they have proved me wrong. So I'm just going to be right, JD. I'm going to be right in the end when you got Marchessault and Jack Eichel, and then we get to see in the offseason Phil Kessel fill the cup with hot dogs.
Oh, I love Phil. I hope Phil gets another cup. I don't know. I see the Panthers pulling this one out.
There's a reason why he doesn't play, right?
I mean,
is it because he's out of shape? Is that the joke, or is it just a joke?
I mean, he's out of shape. Well, it's weird. Like, I wouldn't say,
because I see all the reels about like him down in glizzies and stuff.
Well, yeah, because that was the whole thing when he was in Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
But even though he drank like Coke and stuff and all that, but he was still one of the fastest players in the league. Even he wasn't. Yeah, if you looked at him, he looked like.
But he's a healthy scratch for the Golden Knights.
Yeah, are you sure he hasn't been playing?
Yeah, because the whole thing I'm seeing on Instagram, like all the reels I see, is that he's been scratched for these games.
Because
you can look it up. You can tell me I'm wrong, but Instagram has never lied to me.
No, because because what was it?
I could swear that he's
also just old now, right?
Good point.
Like hold on. Yeah, he did not play. Yeah, okay, so you were right.
Yeah, he's been a scratch for the playoffs.
Yeah, like let me just I want to say he's like 35 years old.
Yep, he is 35 years old. You are right.
Yeah. So
hey, by the way, let's not say 35 is old. 35 is not old.
For sports standards.
For sport, yeah, I like that. We'll say with sports standards, because I'm getting there, JD, and 35 is not old.
Well, that sucks.
Plus another reason why I'm saying 35 is not old, JD, is I don't know if she's going to watch this, but if my girlfriend ever decides to watch a video and gets to this part, she's going to be like, see, JD agrees with me. 35 is old. I'm old. Because she always tells me that she's old.
Yeah. We'll have to see.
You're wrong. You're not old. But go ahead with what you were saying. No,
yeah, just it's like with the Panthers, it's I bet against them twice and it bit me. And I had them in 7 the last series because I didn't completely buy what they were selling, and I mean they won, but it was by a wide margin.
You're right. I'm gonna catch 22. When I've bet against the Panthers, they've won. But when I've bet against the Golden Knights, they've won. Where do I go?
So that's kind of why I'm leaning. Like I said, would I be shocked if the Golden Knights won? No. But I just think the forechecking ability that the Panthers have shown is going to be enough to make the Golden Knights make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
And I just love what the Panthers have been doing these playoffs. They've been unreal, and I hope for their fans they finally get that cup, and then that will just grow the game in that market because it's been tough.
Well, that's going to do it. That's what we have. We will be back, obviously, to recap pretty much the whole seat. Like, here's what I'm thinking, JD. And I'm going to say this now so you can get it ready. I'm also going to ask you, they haven't announced award winners yet, right?
Some are obvious, like the Rocket and the Vezina finalists and all that.
Here's what I'm thinking we do. End of the year after the Stanley Cup Finals, you and I will obviously do this together and collaborate on what they are. Let's come up with like our own award show. Where basically it's not just a recap of the Cup Finals, it's a recap of the whole season. We get to celebrate the whole season. We get to give our own, so like if we want to be like, oh, who's our MVP and stuff like that, but also like if there's other things like, hey, let's make this stupid award like like how we used to have Wet Boy of the Year for MVP Sports Live. We should do like our own awards and stuff. If that sounds cool to you, or if this is just a dumb idea coming off the brain of Ricky.
I really like that. I'm down.
So we will be back. You guys, in the meantime, let us know down below what you guys think. Who do you got? Panthers, Golden Knights. Who's going to win this series? Let us know down below. Remember, if you want to support the channel, make these videos possible, go ahead and check out our Patreon page. Link is in the description. Or you can become a channel member today. Or, yeah. I was going to say that again, but I see doing these videos in the morning is messing with my head because my head is usually not used to thinking this early. If you want to join the greatest community in the universe, go ahead and join the MVP Discord. That link is in the description as well. I want to thank JD for everything you do. Cannot talk about these playoffs without you. And I want to thank you guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for commenting. And as always, have a good day, everybody. As always, we'd like to thank the people that make these videos possible, our patrons whose names are displayed on the screen now. If you would like to become a patron, go ahead and click the Patreon icon in the bottom right. And if you'd like to check out another video from MVP Sports, hit the video in the upper left. As always, thanks for watching.